Hello again. Hope you've been having a great October, and time for the final JMC review of the month. And with me again is Matt Nugent. And today we're going to be talking about one of the most infamous Halloween films ever made, Halloween 3: Season of the Witch. This movie is infamous and has built up a strong cult following over the years, because when it first came out it was not a big success with the critics and audiences. I think it got its budget back, but it wasn't grossing nearly as much as the first two Halloweens had, and people really disliked this film a lot when it first came out. Some calling it the worst Halloween film ever made, and of course, this was decades before Halloween Resurrection and the Rob Zombie movies. So, what did they know? But yeah, this movie got a lot of flack, and the reason it got so much hate was Halloween 3: Season of the Witch does not feature, nor does it continue in any way, the storyline of Michael Myers. This movie is about an alcoholic doctor and the daughter of a victim of a powerful businessman who work together to find out what this businessman's evil plan is that he has people getting killed over, and discovering that it all has to do with these Halloween masks that the guy manufactures and every kid in the country seems to have and is just going nuts over.
I think kids would have bought these weeks in advance.
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Be in front of your TV sets for the horror-thon.
You could say they're bugging out over it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The plot ends up being that the guy who runs this big toy company is the leader of a group of witches who have taken the bits of stone from one of the pieces from Stonehenge and are shaving off little bits piece by piece and putting them in their Halloween masks. And they've had this big marketing campaign telling all the little kids who buy their masks to watch this Halloween special. They'll be airing Halloween night.
And remember the big giveaway at 9. Don't miss it. And don't forget to wear your masks. It's almost time. All those lucky kids with silver shamrock masks, hurry home for the big giveaway. It's almost time. Hurry home.
And the idea is that special has like a subliminal bit of magic to it. They'll cause anybody wearing the mask with the bits of stone to have their heads turn into a bunch of bugs and reptiles, killing millions of children. Sounds a little corny, but it's very well done and actually pretty effective. And it's a good creepy Halloween season movie, and I really like this movie. I saw it many years ago and I've rewatched it twice in the past year, and something that a lot of people really like is that it's just dripping with the Halloween season.
It's got it all.
Definitely. And going back to why it failed, because it didn't have Michael Myers. The reason I have Matt here is he used to be of that kind of mindset with this movie. And I was hoping you could go into why you didn't like this movie back then.
Well, to be fair, I saw this movie on TV, I think when I was like 12. And so I just thought it was some like shitty, boring 70s movie that didn't make any sense.
Hey, early 80s, man.
Oh, early 80s, yeah. Sorry, I can't get over the 70s. Porn star look at the main character.
It's all in the mustache.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any way I would have liked that movie when I was 12. It's a fun movie, though. I like it a lot now.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that if the film had not been called Halloween 3, they think it would have done just fine and maybe would have been a more of an instant Halloween classic.
It makes me like it more, though, that it's like a Halloween movie, because it's like this expanding of the mythos, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'd be more. I honestly wish that Halloween had like done a bunch of different types of movies like that. You know.
That was actually the original intent. After the second Halloween film, I don't know if you remember, but the end of that movie, Michael Myers supposedly actually died.
Yeah.
And John Carpenter was hoping that would be the end of it.
Yeah.
But he wanted the series to continue, and what he wanted to do was have each sequel be its own story, taking place around the Halloween season, be its own thing, have the whole franchise become an anthology series.
That would have been sweet.
But it didn't work, and I think I know why this plan, which sounds very good, didn't work, and it's not with the common belief that because this movie didn't have Michael Myers. I think the major reason this idea didn't go well with the franchise was because there had already been a sequel that continued the Michael Myers storyline.
Yeah, if they just left it at the one movie, probably would have been easier.
If the second film had been where they started, then this idea I think could have worked.
Yeah.
But because they continued it, that's pretty much all people would be wanting to go back to.
So is this the only Halloween movie without Michael Myers in it?
It's the only one.
It's kind of whack.
And it's also the only one that has zero connection to the Michael Myers story.
It doesn't even take place in the same universe.
Yeah, because in the movie...
Yeah, the movie's in the movie.
Hey, Charlie, can we have another station? You got it.
What?
The Immortal Classic, followed by the big giveaway at 9. Brought to you by...
Which... I wonder, if they had gone the different story each sequel route, do you think in the next one they would have had someone watching Halloween 3?
That would have been fun. That would have been a sweet Easter egg in each movie.
And what if they featured the scene where he's watching the first movie?
That'd be incredible. Oh, they could build it up too. That'd be so fun.
That would be so mind-warping.
I would like that.
Alas. The people behind the camera were not new to the horror franchise. The movie was once again executive produced by Mustafa Akkad, who is credited as presenting the movie. Do you know much about Mustafa Akkad?
I don't know anything about him.
He's considered the grandfather of the Halloween franchise. John Carpenter and Deborah Hill were the ones who created it, but Mustafa was the one that gave them the money to get it made and released it. And John Carpenter left the franchise after the third failed, but Mustafa, he kept producing every single one up until Halloween Resurrection.
Wow.
And guess what movies he was known for making outside of the Halloween films?
I can't.
Religious movies.
Really? Just like religious, like propaganda movies?
I don't know exactly. I haven't checked them out yet.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you can tell by his name, but Mustafa Akkad was a Muslim, and he made Islamic religious films. But yeah, before Halloween, he made a biography film about Muhammad.
How do you do that when you can't depict Muhammad?
Apparently the whole movie is from Muhammad's point of view, and when everyone's talking to him, we never hear
His voice or see
Yeah,
him?
from what I've read, but yeah.
That's whack.
So it was his way of being respectful, but getting it made. But sadly, Mustafa Akkad was killed in a Islamic suicide bombing.
Really?
Yeah, by Islamic terrorists, and
That's pretty wild.
after that, that was it. Rob Zombie, for his first Halloween, included a dedication to him.
Nice.
And as much as I hate that movie, it's nice that Zombie put that tribute to him.
Yeah, that is sweet.
Yeah, a lot of people from the Halloween franchise are dead now. Deborah Hill also died in 2005 from breast cancer. And other producers on this film include Erwin Yablans, who was the producer of 1, 2, and he didn't return after 3 either. And of course, and this is actually going to connect to the last movie we reviewed, this movie was also executive produced by Dino De Laurentiis, who was the producer of Maximum Overdrive.
Wow, okay.
And remember when we reviewed that movie, we talked about that movie's trailer, which has a completely different music score.
Yeah.
And the trailer's music score was actually the theme for Halloween 3.
Really?
Yeah, the Chariots of Pumpkins.
That's awesome. That's probably part of why that trailer was like enticing and scary.
Very dope.
Beyond Stephen King being a fucking scary male monster.
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you. And that's a promise.
And that turned out to be a big fucking lie. John Carpenter and Alan Howarth did the movie's music scoring, and aside from the Chariots theme, they created a very, very effective techno-sounding score. It has a very electric feel to it.
Totally.
And the cinematography was done by Dean Cundy, who was Carpenter's regular at the time. And that's another thing, the cinematography in this film is excellent.
Yeah.
We get all these simple shots of just the town they're in, and they only last a couple of seconds, but they establish a very scary atmosphere. Lets you know that there's something bad going on around here.
Yeah, that's what I would have noticed when I was 12. This movie looks really good. It's kind of like sterile looking too, which adds to the like electronic feel. Like a lot of the shots are really simple, but they like...
Yeah, and there's something about things being sterile that gives a lot of people the creeps.
Totally. It's like being in a hospital or something.
Or a prison. The editing was done by Millie Moore. I don't know him or her from anything else, but I'd say the editing was pretty sharp here. There were a lot of effects credits, so I'm just going to list them down here. Top-notch special effects.
Yeah, good stuff.
That scene with the pumpkin on the kid's head. Yikes.
It's dope. Dude,
And-
or the scene with the woman in the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And her like lips are like peeled back and yeah, that's like some really like that's almost like body horror, you know? It's like some gross looking stuff.
I'm getting a very, very Videodrome vibe from that scene.
Totally Videodrome-y.
And of course, that scene with the head off at the end. That was a pretty impressive effect.
When he smashes the head off.
Yeah, just the head comes off and we see it lying there and the body and the head still alive.
Yeah.
And I read the behind the scenes, a lot of work went into that effect.
I had an issue with that scene. I think it's the main plot hole in the movie.
We'll get to that in a little bit.
All right. I'm just letting you know right now. I got an issue with that scene.
Okay. And of course, Deborah Hill was co-producer with John Carpenter.
Yeah.
They were a good team back in the day. They co-wrote Halloween together and a few others I can't remember at the moment. I'll list them down here again. And the film's, I've been pointing this out enough, the film's writer and director is Tommy Lee Wallace. It was Tommy Lee Wallace. He was John Carpenter's art director, and well, he was kind of his understudy almost. He was a major assistant on films like Dark Star, Assault on Precinct 13, Halloween, The Fog, and Halloween 3 was not a big success, but Wallace went on to direct other movies. He directed Fright Night Part 2, and he went on to direct, this is his most well-known work outside of this movie, the Stephen King It miniseries. What do you think of that fact that he directed that?
The It miniseries?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. It's kind of surprising. I feel like this movie's a lot better than the It miniseries. Although I can see there's some like similarities to the
Children in Danger.
Yeah, and then like that It miniseries is kind of sterile too.
Hmm.
It's just like sloppier,
Yeah. Tommy Lee shows you work with the right guy, you can get a chance. Just be careful when you get that chance.
Yeah.
Although he does know how to play a good guitar. Another regular from John Carpenter's movies to appear in this film was Tom Atkins, starring as Dr. Daniel Chalice. Tom Atkins had also been in The Fog and Escape from New York and Creepshow, and he would later go on to be in George A. Romero's Two Evil Eyes.
Right.
And with the exception of The Fog, I believe he maintains his mustache most of the time.
Good. He should never get rid of that mustache.
I look at Tom Atkins' mustache and I just think, fuck off, Tom Selleck. He's a great character actor. He's been in a ton of stuff, and I believe this is one of his few, if not his only, leading role in a movie. And I can see why he doesn't have the young face they want their heroes to have. But I think he was a great horror movie lead for this.
I liked him a lot. He didn't have like a stardom pizzazz, but like that was part of what I liked about him. He was like a believably like living dude,
Mm-hmm. And a lot of his actions, most of his actions, feel pretty real and understandable. He does, for the most part, the smart moves to make.
He does, especially.
And it's only at the end when he can't do much else that he starts to break down, which feels very natural.
Yeah.
No, I can't remember the name of the hotel. I'll call you Monday. I gotta go. Bye.
I get the six-pack.
Yeah.
And he doesn't look half bad when he's naked, I think.
Nah, he's a good-looking dude.
Hello, man-ass.
And the female lead for this film is Stacey Nelkin as Ellie Grimbridge. And as I said, the film opens with a guy running for his life and ending up at a hospital where Daniel Chalice becomes his doctor. And Chalice...
About 10 minutes.
Well, we did cut ahead in time a little.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks a lot for bringing me.
Well, thank you, Doc. I was always taught that when somebody needs help, you help them. I mean, unless there's going to be trouble. There's not going to be any trouble in it. I mean, you never know when somebody might be needing help. And it might be my kind of help.
They're going to kill us. All of us. All of us.
100 milligrams, Thorazine. IV.
I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, for real, smartest character in the movie.
And Chalice is established as being divorced and a bit of a heavy drinker. And he seems like an okay doctor. We only see him with the one patient. But he seems pretty responsible. And seems to have a troubled relationship with his ex-wife who doesn't really want him coming around. The ex-wife was... What did you think of her in the brief scene she had?
Just kind of just the worst, you know?
Yeah, she's still...
It's just like a voice of, like, irritants throughout the movie, you know?
Just doesn't like him and doesn't want to listen to anything he has to say unless it just gives her an excuse to say he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Children, we leave our food at the table.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's bad time.
I'm used to it.
Yeah, she started out as just a bitch, and by the end I just thought, fucking cunt. But,
Well, when you marry a sexy 70s porn star looking man whore alcoholic, it's probably tough.
I gotta call in.
Drinking and doctoring, great combination.
we didn't see him do anything bad when they were married, so...
That's true. It might not have started till after.
Yeah, so we don't know if he was bad then, and from what I see now, other than being free to jump just about anything with a pair of tits, he doesn't seem that bad of a guy.
Yeah, he seems alright. Gets his kids gifts and shit.
He tries.
What's the matter? Don't you like them?
Mom already got us mask. A silver shamrock, look!
Nice try.
The ex-wife, Linda Chalice, she's played by Nancy Keys, who played Annie in the original Halloween.
Really?
Yeah, the frizzy-haired bitch.
She the one that takes her tits out?
I know that's PJ Souls. Annie's the one who gets killed in her car,
Oh, yeah.
who's smoking with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Nancy Keys coming back here, and it's funny, she played a teenager in that last movie, and here she appears to be pretty middle-aged.
Yeah, she looks pretty, like, gray-haired and aged.
Yeah.
Her soul seems aged. Probably helps, you know.
At the time this movie was made, Nancy Keys and Tommy Lee Wallace were married.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's funny.
I think
I
they're...
like that he cast his wife as, like, the horrendous, bitchy ex-wife.
Makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Turn that down.
It was said that the characters she played were often written to fit her actual personality.
Wow. Well, you know, I guess he had some foresight or something, huh?
Mm. Yeah. Stacey Nelkin as Ellie. I think she does an okay job. Admittedly, the character's not given a lot of development other than being easily attracted to smooth 70s man.
Yeah, what she has to do, she's good at. She's cute as a button. She takes her clothes off. She bangs the protagonist, you know.
What I mean is, if you'd feel more comfortable, I could sleep in the car. Be better in this floor anyway.
Then you couldn't hook up.
Where do you want to sleep, Dr. Chalice?
That's a dumb question, Miss Grimbridge.
Me and my buddy Mike said, "What a man whore."
He's a classic man whore. I don't remember his alcohol problem. Only adds to his manly whoreness.
She's not just one-dimensional either.
Yeah,
I like they gave her enough personality, and until she got caught by the bad guys, she was pretty competent and...
She's competent, she's likable.
Yeah, and the two of them together, I thought they made a pretty good team.
Yeah.
I saw something that night. I don't know, your father came into the hospital. I thought he was crazy, out of his mind. He's hanging onto a Halloween mask. He wouldn't let it go. And what he said was, they're going to kill us all. And in a little while, he was dead. And I don't know what the hell is going on.
I've been doing some detective work. My father kept excellent records. October 18th, Merchants Council meeting. He was there. I checked.
October 19th, football game, he was there too. October 20th, pick up more masks.
Yeah. That's the kind your father had in his hand.
October 21st, dinner with Minnie. Minnie Blankenship, he never showed up. He never called.
You've been busy.
I like when like there's plot development happening in the next room and he's like, who cares? We're banging.
Who cares?
And that woman in the next room who gets her lips peeled back, that actually was Tom Atkins' real life wife.
That was Tom Atkins' wife?
Yeah.
No, no kidding.
Yeah, Garn Stevens, and they're now divorced. Seems like everybody's getting divorced on these movies.
Yeah, it's not the place for love.
And doesn't really connect anything, and I don't know which one he played, but the main bad guy has an army of apparent goons that carry out all of his dirty work, killing off people that could cause trouble for his master plan. And
Cyborgs.
in the credits, they're listed as androids.
Androids, right? They can't be cyborgs because they're not even partially human. Although, maybe actually.
But yeah, they're cyborg, android, whatever, henchmen. And one of them, and this could be the guy that kills the father in the hospital with that awesome...
Ooh, yeah, that was gross.
Oh boy. Ooh. Are you sensitive about eyes?
A little bit. Yeah, that's yeah.
But yeah, one of the assassins, don't know which one, is played by Dick Warlock. That is an amazing name.
Damn, that's fucking hardcore.
And I bring this up because Dick Warlock played Michael Myers in the second Halloween.
Really?
Yeah, they bringing people back.
That's funny. He seemed a little little to be Michael Myers. Guess he's maybe shot to not look so big,
It's impossible to tell which one he is, but Dick Warlock, love you, man.
Dick Warlock. That's incredible. Oh!
And we even get a voice cameo from Jamie Lee Curtis. She's the voice on the speakers in that one scene that says, "Curfew in effect."
It's against the clock. Curfew. Curfew. All residents of Santa Mira, please clear the street.
That's Jamie Lee Curtis's voice.
No shit, really?
Yeah, her small way of continuing to
Confine our
appear.
activities to your own homes. Thank you. Have a very pleasant evening.
I think Jamie Lee Curtis might be my favorite actress.
Really?
Yeah, like I've seen her in a lot of stuff, including some, like every actor does not very good movies. And she's always been great in my opinion. She's great at playing just about any type of character, whether it be good or bad.
Yeah.
She can be sympathetic when necessary and can really emote when she has to.
I'm trying to think of anything she's been in.
The Fog.
The Fog.
Freaky Friday.
Oh yeah, Freaky Friday.
A Fish Called Wanda. And she's on that show, right, that's playing, I don't remember which network or channel it's on, Scream Queens. It's like a tribute to 80s horror movies.
Nice.
And she plays like the dean of a college.
Nice.
Last behind the scenes fact, and then we're just going to focus on the main characters. According to John Carpenter, Tommy Lee Wallace was not the original director for this movie. Originally, they were going to hire Joe Dante, who most people know as the director for Gremlins.
Oh, no kidding, huh?
But
that would have been weird.
Would have been interesting. Might have had the same 80s cheesy feel to it.
Yeah. Definitely kind of a different 80s kind of vibe, though.
And last but not least, the film's main villain, Connell Cochran, played by Dan O'Hurley. It's an Irish name, it's hard to pronounce.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Most people probably know Dan O'Hurley as the old man from the original RoboCop. This is a very different role from his one in RoboCop, where he kind of had an edge, but he was very likable and kind of a good guy, at least in the first one. Here, he is a full-out, creepy, sinister villain, and he is just fucking excellent here.
Mr. Cochran, good to see you, sir.
Ah, good evening, Mr. Rafferty. It's all over, my friends. Just a small accident. The lady's going to get the very best possible treatment, I promise you that.
Where are they taking you?
They're taking her to the factory. So we've the most marvelous facility there for emergency treatment.
He's really something else. He's like a android making, warlock summoning fucking toy master, you know?
And a computer expert.
And he's a computer expert, yeah.
At the end of the film, while investigating this toy factory and why it's having people killed in its mysterious mass, it's discovered that Connell Cochran, who hails from Ireland, is a warlock or a witch, as they say, and along with other witches, they had stolen one of the big stones from Stonehenge, and they joke about how you wouldn't believe how we got it here.
Yeah.
Because there's probably no realistic way they could have.
I like that they did that. They just like didn't fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
Ancient sacrificial circle. Stonehenge. We had a time getting it here. You wouldn't believe how we did it.
They plan to murder all the children who wear them, and what is his reason? I believe the reason is kind of as a bit of revenge and big fuck you to the way Halloween has been commercialized towards kids.
Why, Cochran? Why? Do I need a reason? Mr. Cochran was right, you know. I do love a good joke, and this is the best ever. A joke on the children. You don't really know much about Halloween. You thought no further than the strange custom of having your children wear masks and go out begging for candy.
Sacrificing to who or what, we don't know, but, you know. Sometimes you just gotta kill a couple million kids, you know?
Yeah. It's all part of a big...
Pennywise.
Halloween. The Festival of Samhain. The last great one took place 3,000 years ago when the hills ran red with the blood of animals and children. Sacrifices.
We talked last time also about how they don't kill kids enough anymore.
No, they don't anymore. They've never killed kids enough. I'm so sick of it. I want to see a horror movie with kids getting murked. You know?
I hear you, man. There has to be one or so.
It was pretty good how the one kid in this movie gets totally murked and his head melts into rattlesnakes.
Yeah, just
That's pretty gross.
nasty.
Yeah.
And the way that Dr. Chalice gets out of it after being captured by the androids, kind of inventive. But once again, I gotta ask, why don't they tie down their feet as well?
Yeah. Yeah, they seemed pretty incompetent throughout his kind of endeavors there. They don't have very good peripheral vision, I think.
They don't have good hearing either.
Yeah, seriously. He's just like sneaking like right into the middle of them all.
Well, they are androids.
They're androids, true.
The henchmen bad guys are a little dumb in this movie, but it's one of only the minimalist flaws. And it was a cool escape, I thought, the way he smashed the TV.
Yeah, I like how, I mean, it makes, parts make the villain seem a little incompetent, but it's so, like, it's kind of all really down to earth and, like, organic feeling, you know, where, like, when he was stuck, it's like, how would I get out of there? And he, like, does a pretty sensible thing, you know, like, kick the TV in, scooch around, sneak around. And, like, his escape's so not, like, murking dudes and punching androids. He just, like, you know, thinks of something to take them all out that's, like, pretty sensible and then, like, gets away.
Yeah.
It makes it more sinister to not have it be all, like...
Yeah, not all action type.
Totally. Or, like, all triumphant, like, we're getting away, look, we did it! You know?
Yeah, it was very cool to see a smart protagonist in an 80s horror movie.
Totally.
I mean, there are a lot more, but people generalize horror films as always having stupid characters, and so it's cool to see one with actually a pretty reasonably smart protagonist. And after getting out and crawling through the vents.
Yeah, totally.
Speaking of which, Die Hard, you owe this movie money. He finds what we think at first is Ellie. And then they go and sneak into the big room where they have the giant Stonehenge stone. And Chalice and Ellie grab a box of the pieces of the mask that have the bit of stone in them. And he dumps them all onto the androids and Cochran, and also plays the deadly TV special that is going to kill all the kids. And this is a pretty cool moment, Cochran's death.
Oh yeah, it's dope.
Like, he knows he's gonna die, but he knows they can't stop the whole thing.
Yep.
Kind
I
of
like
a
his little
and that creepy, plastery, icy thing he turns into.
It's dope. And then he just like evaporates, disapparates.
And the factory just giving us a big ass explosion.
Ooh, that's probably the coolest fucking shot in the movie.
Definitely.
The red fucking sky. It's so sinister Halloween fucking.
Another movie to rip this off, Children of the Corn.
Awesome.
Yeah. True.
That's another my thing. This movie has an awesome red sky. Maximum Overdrive had a green sky.
Oh yeah, that's probably one of the best parts of that movie too. Colored skies are good.
As long as there's no beam shooting into the sky with shit floating around it.
Yeah.
And now we can finally get to that thing that bugs you.
Oh yeah, the plot hole.
Yeah, explain.
This is my concern. So, he finds Ellie, and so at first we believe it's Ellie. She has Ellie's personality, and she.
Well, actually, that was interesting. From the moment he finds her, we never hear her talk.
Does she not talk?
She never speaks once after he picks her up.
Okay, that's interesting.
So
My thing is, and another confusion is like, did they kill Ellie and make a robot, or did they put robot parts in her body? But then here's my thing about the plot hole. If she was an android goon, why didn't she stop him? She had every chance. She was right there while he was, dumping the stuff, sneaking around. She could have alerted people. She could have murked him. But she waits until they're finally getting away, and then she's like, now's my chance. I'm going to choke him out,
Ellie, you alright?
Okay, I have a few possible theories. Maybe the programming had not set in 100%.
Maybe.
Maybe it only fully kicked in when they were in the car. And if she was still part human, maybe a part of her until that bit in the car where she finally tries to kill Dr. Dan. Maybe she was holding on to her humanity a little.
Maybe. The plot hole doesn't actually really bug me because I think it's fun.
But it is interesting.
I think it's like
It's worth picking a little.
yeah.
Like, plot holes are kind of fun. Like, Back to the Future, my god.
Yeah, seriously.
Those movies are full of fucking plot holes. And but you, doesn't matter, you still love the movies.
Yeah.
I like how Dr. Chalice near the end, like, he doesn't go full give up, but you can see him struggling to keep it together.
Yeah.
Because he knows this big event with the Halloween special that's going to reach everybody. It is everywhere. And at the end, when he goes to that gas station, this is another part you got to suspend a little disbelief for. He calls somebody, I'm guessing, who works in television, and he begs them over and over to stop the special from being played.
Yeah.
If it goes out, it means the death of millions of people, everyone watching. Don't you understand that?
Please excuse the interruption. We're having technical problems. Please stand by.
I'm guessing this special is only playing on the major networks like ABC, CBS, NBC.
Yeah.
Because he's only concerned about 3 channels that are playing it. and he gets two of them to not play it. And this film's ending is very dark, like more dark than most people are even used to, I think, for most slasher films. Because it's much higher stakes. It's not just a killer going after a small group of kids. This is something that's going to affect millions nationwide. And he got 2 channels to stop it, but the last one, it's still going, and it's starting the phase that will kill the kids, and he just screams,
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
and then that's where it ends, just abruptly, and we get the credits and the Chariots of Pumpkins theme.
It's a good ending.
And I read that the original ending was actually much darker.
Really?
After he yelled, "Stop it!" and the screen cut to black, we were supposed to hear the screams of the children as they get killed.
Ooh. That's pretty badass.
Tommy Lee Wallace decided not to go there, and he thought it was better to kind of leave it ambiguous.
I think so. I think it was better too, actually.
I am 95% certain that all the kids, including his own, who had the mask, are fucking dead. But the way they ended it really makes you wonder.
Yeah, they might have lived.
There's a tiny, teeny chance.
I think that makes it scarier.
Yeah, not to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, imagine if they went with the original ending.
Yeah, that's like more depressing than scary, you know?
I could go for a good depressing ending every now and then.
Yeah.
I mean, I like ambiguous endings as much as the next guy, but I feel like there's not enough horror films that just have an absolutely soul-crushing ending.
Yeah, that's true. I do like that also.
The last horror movie, I can't remember the last horror movie that truly had a crushing, depressing ending that I saw, but I can think of one that I've seen the past few years that really stuck out. Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah.
With Justin Long at the end.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, that was... you really thought that they would find a way to stop it, but no, he's lunch.
Yep.
So that's the majority of our review for Halloween 3. There's just a few small trivia facts that I would really like to mention. The movie, for the majority, takes place in a small town, which is the base of Cochran's mask-making operation. The town is called Santa Mira.
I think my father ran into trouble somewhere between here and Santa Mira.
Santa Mira?
Where they make those.
Oh.
Little place, not too far away.
And I mentioned this while we were watching. Santa Mira was also the setting of the 1950s horror film Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And I think one of the writers said that's where they got their majority of their inspiration from, just Santa Mira.
Yeah.
So they thought, why not give it the same name?
Totally. That's pretty sweet.
The movie's catchphrase was, "The night nobody comes home."
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, the night no one comes home.
Which is a play on the original Halloween's catchphrase, "The night he came home."
Yeah.
Just that tagline, even that lets you know this is a darker story.
For sure. It is funny. It's a lot darker than Halloween.
And this is a special effects fact. Whenever the androids get punched or stabbed, they spurt out this goo, this orange goo. And do you know what that goo was?
I was wondering that.
I was not expecting this. Orange juice.
Just orange juice?
Yeah.
It looked thick, you know?
Maybe they kept it in there a while.
Yeah.
Anything gets thick after a while.
True.
and showing just how some critics didn't get it. This film was on Roger Ebert's most hated movies list.
Really?
But then again, Ebert was a guy who gave The Usual Suspects 1 out of 4 stars.
Did he really?
He fucking hated that movie.
That's interesting.
He hated the twist, thinking he felt like the film lied to him.
Really?
When I think that was kind of the point.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. Well, he was.
Yeah. He didn't get horror movies, but he was the ultimate film critic.
He's a great man. He's an amazing critic. One of a kind.
Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. I love this movie. It's an odd sequel, not connecting to the others, but it's great, and don't let the fact that it has no connection deter you as it did so many people back in the 80s. I give this movie 8.3 out of 10 stars. What do you give it?
I'll give it 7.8.
That's fair.
I like it a lot. I think it's good. It's like, you know, it's never like a jaw-dropping movie, but it's just like...
Got the thrills.
It's cool. It's a cool movie, you know? It's
got,
fun, it's cool.
It's got the chills.
It's got the thrills, the chills.
And the man-ass.
The man-ass. A lot better than mayonnaise.
And a score from John Carpenter. What more could you ask for? Have a happy Halloween. I will see you in November, and Matt, thank you for joining me once again.
Absolutely.
Later.